Hey, Digi artists out there. I'm Melanie from U Designs, where I bring you techniques to work better and faster in your workflows, in your creative designs. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to remove objects and to save the background of those objects without having to reclone those pixels. So saving you a ton of extra work. So stick around for this powerful tutorial. When you don't know this technique I'm about to show you, you could be wasting a lot of time and energy and not getting the results you want. So check it out. This is powerful and it's going to increase your workflow. Before I get into the tutorial, please take a moment to support this channel and like, subscribe, and leave comments below. I'd love to hear what your favorite workflows are in creating your designs. So this is what we're actually going to get. Okay, so inside of Photoshop here, notice that I am on Photoshop CC 2019, the latest version. And so this is the surf kite and surfer I want to remove. And you can see that this is intersecting, the kite is intersecting with the actual building in the background. So just like that, you can remove this guy and the building stays intact. And I didn't really have to rebuild those pixels in the background for the building. Okay, so make sure you've duplicated your layer and working non-destructively. I'll go to the lasso tool and I have about 5 pixels feather and I'm going to just roughly draw around these objects I want to remove. And I'm just doing a loose drawing. I'm not really being tight about it. So like that. Okay, we've got our marching ants around the object we want to remove. Go up to Edit, Content Aware Fill, and we know that we'll get these 2 windows, and check it out. Photoshop did an amazing job, and if I zoom in here, you'll see that it actually rebuilt and resampled the pixels on the building. So it's amazing, really awesome. But we're actually, so that's really fantastic. We're actually getting a duplication of this object here that's blue. So what I can do is jump over to the left side and tell Photoshop not to sample that. So what I'll do is get my brush size, my sampling brush, left and right bracket keys, and I'm going to zoom in here actually, get a nice snug fit, and tell it not to sample that. And let's see what it does. Okay, so that was better. And what else is it sampling? So basically what I want to do on the left side is tell Photoshop not to sample the things that I'm seeing duplicated here. So I'm kind of seeing this, I think, which is that. So reduce the brush size again. Let's see what it did. But now it's doing now it's doing that. So I don't want that. So undo, Command Z, Control Z. And I think I'll take my chances here and I'll just try to fix those. Okay. So let's put the color adaptation to high and see if that helps. It helps a little bit with the building, and it is kind of rebuilding this right here. So if I take off mirror, let's see what happens here. So I'm getting that. So mirror is helping me out here. And what I can do is maybe try a low rotation. And I mean, we could get away with that, but honestly, it looks better. So let's say okay. And I will Command Control D to deselect. And being that the building is in the background, really we can get away with this technique here. So what I can do is just jump over to the spot healing tool, increase my brush size, and just kind of remove this shadow I have there. And so right there you can see how awesome that was. Now I can go back in here and you can see the building looks a little bit wobbly, and what I can do is just sort of go with my spot healing and just kind of nudge things. And with this technique, I feel like it's not about how fast you click, but your placement of clicking and changing the brush size as often. Because when you change the brush size often, it forces Photoshop to resample the pixels around. So that's what is going on.
So you can spend a little bit more time refining this. But like I said, really, it is doing a pretty good job right there. So again, this technique really asks you to change the brush size as often as possible because it's going to keep resampling those areas, and that's exactly what I mean right there. You saw it, right? Okay, there again. And let's try that and that and that. Undo, Command Control Z. Okay, I think we can get away with that. So check it out. Just like that, okay, Photoshop put it on its own layer, non-destructively. Kite, surfer kite dude is gone from the image. It's pretty fantastic. And we didn't have to rebuild any of the pixels in the background. So I think that that's fantastic.
As you can see, the content aware fill option is so powerful. It saves us so much work and time, and we're getting pretty good results. But in case you want to rebuild some of the trees here, we can actually go into the healing brush tool, which samples pixels, and kind of build that back up. Okay, so let's check that out.
Now, if you wanted to, I mean, this is really awesome, right? It saves you a ton of time. So right here you have the trees that are kind of like being cut off, kind of, you know, in a strict way here, in a rigid way, and we want it to be a little bit more organic. So what you can do is go to a new layer, create a new layer, and let's go to the healing brush tool. And the healing brush tool, you want to on the options bar, click sampled and current and below. So it's going to use the pixels below in the layers here to help us out. So I'll talk about diffusion. Actually, I'll show you what diffusion does. It's basically, so you know that the healing brush tool samples areas, right? So it samples. If I sample the sand here and come over here, you'll see that it samples. So if I bring the diffusion down, it goes from 1 to 7. And basically, it's how well around the brush size it's going to blend those pixels with what I sampled. So check it out. So I can go over here, sample that, come over here, and you'll see that it's like a basic stamp, and we don't want that. So that was at 1, and check it out at 7. So I do the same thing, holding Option Alt to sample, come back over here, and you'll see that Photoshop's doing a better job in blending that out. Okay, if I come in here, you'll see the edges aren't as sharp. And so basically that is what the diffusion does. Okay, so I have my my healing brush tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sample, increase my brush size here, and let's sample. Let's go back up here. Let's sample. So maybe I want to drop my diffusion to like 5. Sample this area right here. I can come over here. Actually, let's reduce it to about 2. And like I said, this is really something you play with. Okay, so holding the Option J again for that tool. What I can do is just kind of do some random kind of something like that, and then sample this and bring it over here. And in this case, I'll have to increase the diffusion for the grass here. My brush is too big. Sample little grass, shrubs, bring it over here, like that. And you can see that looks pretty good, okay? And then we can come in with just the spot healing again, and just sort of come over here, and where we're losing the trick, we can sort of just use a spot healing to get it back. All right, so there you have it, okay? What surf kiter dude? Where is he? He's gone. Okay, so as you can see, we rebuilt just a little bit of the trees and the shrubs there, and the image looks amazing. It looks like there was you know, no one there. So that's why this is on its own layer, just because I like to work non-destructively. So there you have it.
Great job. So, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hope you got to see how you can, remove objects, with objects in the background and still not have to rebuild the pixels, because Photoshop's AI system is so fantastic in rebuilding and resampling these pixels to help you work more seamlessly and faster and having a better workflow. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And comment below, let me know what you liked or what was your favorite part and what is your favorite workflow when removing objects inside of Photoshop. Okay, see you in the next video.